Greetings and welcome to this week's episode of Vampire the Masquerade Beyond Armageddon. Before we begin, I'd like to make a few announcements. First, we are proud to announce that Sabbat the Schism is officially out now. Not only does it delve into the history and lore of the sect, it opens up multiple role-playing options for fans of the game, including new playable clans, elder-level powers, and much more. You can find your own copy of Sabbat the Schism in the link below. Second, I'd like to thank RS Experiments, our local musical talent, for graciously providing the custom music you've been enjoying so far, including our awesome main theme song called Haven Dweller. If you enjoy any of the music used during the stream and you'd like to hear more, you can find a full library of Mark's work by clicking the link below to RS Experiments' SoundCloud page. Lastly, if you enjoyed tonight's session and you'd like to see more, be sure to follow both our channels. You can catch us live most Sundays at 7 p.m. CET by tuning in to youtube.com/@EriseGames or at twitch.tv/EriseGames. Alternatively, you can enjoy all our recorded sessions on YouTube. Links below. Remember to like, subscribe, and be sure to leave us feedback and suggestions in the comments below. We hope you enjoy the session. And without further ado, let us delve into the world of darkness in tonight's episode of Vampire the Masquerade Beyond Armageddon. LA is shrouded in night as the day ends. Serena wakes up to see Olivia essentially arm open and removing some pitch black flesh that they toss on the ground. The flesh seems rotten, almost as if it's made of coagulated blood. And as this happens, Jack, you wake up, checking the results of your experiments and getting the results that you were given earlier this day.
I'm gonna see if anyone's up already. They should be, but maybe someone's not sleeping at the Haven.
As you check around the Haven, Jasper seems to be out. Abel has not spent the night here and has left a small letter Once you open it, you essentially read that he's been driving around looking for Isaac, and thus he's probably going to be more absent in the coming days. And looking around, you see Larry nowhere.
Uh, Meanwhile, Serena watches Olivia pick at the coagulated flesh for a while, till she sighs and gets out of bed and starts getting dressed. And as she's pulling on her coat, she looks. It's getting worse, isn't it?
Has been for a while.
Is it accelerating?
Exponentially.
Tell me if you need me to bring you anything, anyone.
I need to finish my work on time.
Well, do you need me? My aid?
Well, I've been listening. Odds are, eventually I'm going to need the body of a Tremere Elder to finish the tower.
Okay. Strauss?
Any elder would do. Strauss would be the most pleasing. And as Olivia says this, big chunk of black flesh begins to be pulled out and drops to the floor.
Either way, with with I've divined a bit, and I believe that I've received an unexpected aid from founder of my lineage regarding our mission.
At that
Regarding
mention,
our mission.
At that mention, Olivia stops and looks up, then turns to you. What did you say?
I said that ever since I've been, since when we built the map, I've used Eyes of Chaos, and since then, every now and then I've been having, visions of, ironically enough, a big iris, and cracked glass and the moon. Very apt, don't you think? But either way, that time was when we were concerned about Oswald. And when I asked you and Jasper to look in the corner, it was, so to say, like a call to attention to inspire me to use Eyes of Chaos. Last night I've been dividing a bit to set up the meeting with Erise, and at first I thought it was when I tried to divide whoever is the primogen now of Malkavians, I thought it was, maybe about Talmahara, but I now understand that I was wrong. It wasn't them, it was, again, the big iris. Because basically, I've been shown that she can be convinced or manipulated in a way that the tower here will collapse. So I've basically, every now and then, I've been getting, hints of what to pay attention to, what I'm looking for. Eyes of Chaos, activating. And another strange thing, there are no Malkavians left in Santa Monica. Every single one has left. Because I've used the power that I recently gained from the Forest Witch to, secretly spy on what's going on through, like, traveling through the sewers and, different places, and then using my connection with the plants to observe the area. So, yes.
And absolutely no Malkavians remain.
None. Not a single Malkavian in Santa Monica, and honestly, it's a bit concerning. Since, usually I'd say that is a sign of something coming there. Or, technically, it could be also a sign of Talmahara paying attention to that area. Or planning something. I mean, they're not exactly... I'd say. From what I understand, from what I've divined, our clan is not exactly amicable with them so much, with a few rare exceptions. So, my plan is we're going to be meeting both with Erise, with Jack. He'll be my lie detector. And we're going to be meeting with Dorothea too.
Well, Larry just landed on the roof. Maybe take him too.
Yeah. Aid will be definitely useful. Either way, there's rumors on the streets that Jeanette has taken over a number of high-profile figures in a Camarilla through political means, but those could be rumors, since Jeanette is Therese. But currently, their rise in numbers is, besides whatever we've managed to take out, is due to Sin Blood, which is not an issue. Either way, I find these powers quite useful. A 10-kilometer radius from me, and any plant, any weed, any flower, any tree serves as my eyes.
I'm finding it quite alarming that, yes, you do have these powers, but at the same time, you seem to have an antediluvian whispering in your ear. That makes two of us. Maybe we won't have all that long to avoid Gehenna.
Wondered why. Camarilla believes that the main clan of Malkavian has joined them after convention.
Well, I'm not as familiar with your clan as I should be.
Well, but...
Perhaps you should explain this to the others as well.
Yeah, but my point is, Dominate is not the Malkavian clan's discipline. Demontation is. And the only place where demontation was left after the Convention of Thorns, until the Week of Nightmares, until the Red Star became visible, it was only in the Sabbat. The only way Camarilla Malkavians, like me, could develop it is by exposure to Sabbat Malkavians. My point I'm making, perhaps the main clan was with Sabbat all along. A grand trick, isn't it? And Iris does a wry laugh.
Perhaps it's time for that truth to be heard by the rest of them.
Well,
through your means.
Wait, do you mean within the pack, or?
I mean within the tower.
Oh.
Like I said, we seem to be running out of time on all fronts.
Actually, Of course. And Serena bounces over to Olivia and gives her a very enthusiastic kiss on the lips, and then looks her in the eye and says, "You are a genius. You might have just like really cracked that vision. Dorothea is in Camarilla. She might be a dominate Malkavian. Exposure to me, you know what that means. That is how Malkavians come back to the fold." And Iris has like this big Malkavian smile, really excited, eyes twinkling.
Olivia just watches Serena with sort of a puzzled look for a moment and then says, "I have to go. I'm
All right.
glad you're excited."
Serena just like touches her cheek and says, "Be careful, and if you need any aid, tell me."
If you spot any torpid usurper, be sure to bring him to me.
Of course. And Serena leaves the room, looking for Jack.
Jack will be probably like around your joint room, but like not knocking. If you're not out by this point, like he knows not to meddle.
And Jack.
Question, Miguel.
Yes?
Is moon infused Vitae like in liquid form or in
Liquid.
Okay.
So you can freeze it after, but it's liquid.
Yeah.
As Serena exits, and Jack, you see Serena, you also spot Olivia leaving. And
1 second, please, Olivia.
hold on.
Keep
One
both
thing you definitely notice as Olivia leaves. First, a good chunk of their arm is missing. And second, Olivia is very visibly limping, although trying to hide it.
I've got my new hobby to the point where I try to infuse blood with moonlight. So, who's up for some Who's up for some testing? I hold like 2 small vials.
Takes.
Huh?
Iris takes.
Yeah, Clan of the Moon after all.
I'm okay to try some.
At
at this point, I don't think anything will make it worse.
Hopefully, to make it better.
Serena drinks.
Okay. Let me make a note. Did you have any empty
Blood
Because I woke up.
Okay. So just one.
Yeah.
Got it. So make a note.
How much was it in there?
Well, you only
Blood
get
point.
one. You only get one because you only had one free. So make a note on the side of 1 blood point. Next time you spend it, tell me. Olivia basically takes the bottle and says, "Well, it doesn't seem to have any effect on her. Once you know the side effects, I might try to drink it. I need to conserve my strength."
Serena at first was about to look at Olivia with that face, but then she was like, "Okay, yeah, fair enough."
By the way, I made some blood crystals with Tsimisi blood.
Please.
I'll retrieve the box.
Yep. And as you begin to run up the stairs, you spot Larry coming down the stairs from the rooftop.
Hi there. Be right back.
And Larry, you may join the main room.
I do.
Eventually, Jack exits the room with a small box. Would you care to describe the box, Jack?
It is kind of like repurposed cigar box, just like keep the atmosphere inside of it in check. But instead of like slots for cigars, it has slots for bloodstones, for lack of a better word.
Olivia takes it, opens it. How many are there?
5.
5. Olivia immediately takes 3 and pops them in their mouth. And as soon as you start hearing the cracking, there's sort of this almost muffled growl coming from Olivia's throat, and you see something shaking under the flesh. And after a few moments, Olivia opens their eyes and just says, "Oh, that does take the edge off."
I suppose we'd have to find mortals for that.
Quite a few more. Unfortunately, unless it's
there is a purpose to their deaths.
Unfortunately, unless it's a diablerie, it has minimal effects. But it still helps.
Good to know.
I have to go now.
Just tell us if you need any help.
Yeah. And Olivia limps out of the haven, leaving the 3 of you alone.
That doesn't
Okay.
seem good.
I've got some news regarding our whole Dorothea and Therese situation. And despite what I previously thought it was, I don't think my visions last time, Jack, were about her being, like Dorothea being off Talmahara or something like that. It was Malkav.
As in Malkav giving you visions, or Malkav being
It was
Dorothea?
Malkav drawing my attention.
I see.
The eye. It is always a big eye. I should, eyes of
Sounds
chaos
like
activating and a big eye in a vision. I should already be more used to it, so to say. So here's the thing. And she looks to Larry. Tell me, what do you guys know? Are the Malkavians in the Sabbat anti-tribute?
Well,
As you ask this question, Serena, a door, the front door seems to open, and in walks Jasper carrying essentially a medical bag, and behind him walks the test subject, looking a bit emaciated, carrying a box of materials.
Well, and Jasper, tell me, since you were through Sabbat before your unfortunate long trip to the Shadowlands, the Malkavians in the Sabbat, are they anti-tribute?
tricky question. Question.
Just tell me what you know. We're not saying here tricky and so on. Plus, Tony, out of character, it would be what Tony would know in character.
Yeah.
In character to general knowledge, anti-tribute Malkavians are Sabbat or Anarchs.
Well, also, do Sabbat have the anti-tribute?
Look.
No, Jack. Just like plain yes, no. I'll get to it later.
I guess yes.
Cool. Okay. Now, What do you guys know about the Convention of Tours and the Dominate Malkavians?
I've heard about great prank happening
Okay, so
somewhere
here's
after that, but
yes. So
what
here's
the
the
dividing
deal.
point, I don't know.
Okay, so here's the deal. Camarilla claims that the main clan belongs with them. The thing is, after the convention, soon after, the so-called Great Prank occurred, and half of the Malkavians lost dementation. And the rest, and those who lost instead learned Dominate. Guess to which sect those Malkavians belonged, or rather, with which they stayed. Camarilla. Every single other, probably, maybe not every single other, but most other Malkavians went to the Sabbat, those who stayed with Dementation. Dementation Malkavians went with the Sabbat. Now, which discipline belongs to the Malkavians, Dementation or Dominate?
I have a feeling it's not Dominate.
Now, here's another fun
Dominate is
fact.
kind of beneath you.
Here's another fun fact. Do you know that I started as a Dominate Malkavian? Because I was of Camarilla bloodlines.
You mentioned about being in Camarilla.
Now, the reason I got Dementation before the mass awakening of Malkavians to it, though not all of them, but still many during the week of night, the reason I got it is through exposure to a Sabbat Malkavian. My sire had one captured and kept imprisoned in his asylum. Despite his advice, I, of course, went to talk with her. And all never using a single power on me, that single talk awoke me back to my clan's original discipline, Dementation. So, all the way until the week of nightmares in the 1990s, 1999, the one way that Dementation would return to a Malkavian born of Dominate bloodlines was through contact with a Sabbat, Dementation Malkavian, which were mostly Sabbat. That is what we were taught in Camarilla, that any Malkavian with Dementation is 100% Sabbat. There's no other way, because most of them were with a Sabbat. Now, question, if the Sabbat has the majority of Malkavians with their clan's original discipline, while the Camarilla claims the other one, and mind you, the Dementation Malkavians were half, the other Dominate ones were more or less, who knows, they say about the half as well, but probably spread between the Anarchs eventually and Camarilla. Who is the main clan? Who has the main clan? Because it seems to me that the Sabbat was founded with not two clans, but 3. But now you might be asking, why am I talking about this fun little history lesson, right? And it all comes back to Dorothea.
Who's gonna talk with you?
Well, first of all, it's this is thing that Olivia told me that truly explains the vision that Malkav gave me. That tower that he showed me, above which he observed, there was a small black brick. And when I touched the brick, it got covered in all kinds of chaotic patterns. You know, like I spread something to it. Now, the Dorothea, the fact that this brick is Dorothea was very obvious because Malkav forced Eyes of Chaos on me during divination, and I carved her name with a knife. And Serena walks very briskly to the kitchen and points towards the name.
At this point, as Serena goes to point out the name, you see test subject number 4 trying to clean it off and then noticing Serena and just stepping back. And what all of you see is on the floor, Dorothea carved in very jagged lines, clearly using some sort of blade on the floor.
The point is, after that time when I've did that divination in the shadows of the map, Malkav has been checking in regularly.
Yeah.
Practically every time I've been using Eyes of Chaos. And now during divination as well. And another thing. So, before our meeting with Therese, Jack, I went to the Santa Monica and I've hung about sewers in different locations, spying on them through the plans. There is not a single Malkavian left in Santa Monica.
Including Worman?
No, except her.
Mm.
There is no other Malkavian left. And
Where'd
that,
he go? That's a question I'd like to know.
well, there are two options. One, they were killed, and we can ask Therese about that. Two, they left.
Either to the family or to Camarilla.
Well, no, not so. No, that's not what I mean. They left. They didn't go somewhere specifically. I meant they left Santa Monica. Because something's about to happen there.
That's very insightful of them.
Well, that is the nature of our clan. Oracles, mad Cassandras, lunatics, cursed to speak the truth, and rarely believed.
Oh, I believe you. No.
Have no other choice. You've seen it unfold. Point
Well, I
is,
still can question your words, but I generally believe.
Point is, another of my suspicions about why they're leaving is probably connected to the same reason why Tal Mahara tried to recruit me. And
Because their Malkavian left.
no, they might have left.
As in-
No. What I mean is that Tal Mahara, aka Ruark, remember, he also wanted that. Because that place comes with the title of Archbishop, which we don't want him to have. And if Malkavians left, it might be because, they feel the cobweb warning them of that coming in, which means we need to move quicker. But we will
Your
be
call,
meeting.
then.
We will be meeting both.
Sure. Who's first?
We will be meeting first, Dorothea.
Very well. Did I get the place from Taffington for the meeting?
You got a contact.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever set up a meeting using that contact? Because I don't think you
Not
ever
really.
contacted through that phone. So
Then allow me. I'll dial the number, put it on loud.
in the meantime, as Jack is dialing this number, Larry and Jasper, how do you react to the statements being made?
Oh.
Larry is listening and doing a Sigma face, of course.
Actually, then Serena remembers. Also, Olivia was of the mind that it is time to let it be publicly known that the main clan of Malkavians has never been part of Camarilla.
The disruption is the foundation for new stuff, so I guess. It's not like we haven't fucked up a lot of plans for somebody else.
Serena looks to Jasper. What do you think?
Jasper seems a little bit lost in his thoughts.
Jasper, can you bump up your mic a bit, please? very, very quiet.
What about now? Is it better?
A little. So could you repeat what you said?
Jasper seemed a little bit unfocused while you were saying those things.
Okay, yeah, it's a bit quiet. We'll try to fix that in the background. In the meantime,
Serena,
please roleplay.
Serena looks to Larry.
Fuck,
Oh my
Jasper,
God.
you doing the shit.
Serena looks to Larry. So, during my spying, there was word on the street that Jeanette, well, as we know her, Therese, had taken over a number of high-profile profile figures in the Camarilla through political means. Have you heard anything of that?
No,
It would be good
but
to
her
know.
political business doing much better than ours. That much I can say.
Well, because she is Therese there. Have you contacted Oswald? Is he? Or is he still?
He is not responding.
Okay. We're gonna have to set up that Nosferatu meeting. We do have some letters to provide. By the way, did your servant provide any information about Amadeus? Jack?
What question, Albert? But Miguel's busy right now, so
Apologies.
Is-
What?
it's okay. Would Albert said anything about Amadeus back in the day?
We basically, Jack was supposed to ask Albert about whether Delmont had deals with Amadeus and so on.
Definitely Delmont dealt with Amadeus, mainly providing him knowledge and resources to move ahead in the ranks. That said, he was never put in the position of primogen. He was mainly put in the position of someone who was influential and who eventually
that's-
would be placed on a higher position
Yeah.
ahead of
but-
primogen.
Yeah, but that's
that's
not
about it.
exactly the question. No, what we were interested in, whether Amadeus made any deals like we did.
Like, is there a
With Delmont.
documentation on it?
There isn't
well,
any
first of all-
documentation on it. However, Albert would definitely tell you there were deals made. There were contracts made.
So the same way that we had.
Yes. Sort of. Albert can't really say
and-
the details because he's not a necromancer.
Yeah.
Yes. But would he have known if Delmont made any deals with, like, or conversations about Amadeus, or like Amadeus's fall, with somebody else?
Well, given the fact that Albert was out of his containment very rarely, no, he can't really tell you that. He wasn't meant to hear anything he wasn't supposed to, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
We have some form of eyewitness.
Okay, we do have something to start working with, and perhaps that whole information will be enough for the Nosferatu to find further proof to the fact that Amadeus never betrayed them. And fix that feud. Either way, But first we should deal with
Dorothea.
Dorothea. Or maybe, here's the thing. Therese already has her dementation and all that. So if by any chance, and that's what I'm currently thinking, is that Dorothea does not have dementation, which is why when I touched that brick, which was meant to represent Dorothea, it got filled with these, abstract patterns. If dementation was a painting made of symbols, that's what it would be. So perhaps if Dorothea suddenly awakens to dementation, it'll be something that Therese will be able to feel. So perhaps it would be best if we first meet Therese and then straight up we meet Dorothea. I would be able to meditate and guide my mind, shield my mind, but on the other hand, none of you would be that protected. Jack, do you have any protections over your mind?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. Well,
I can replay some embarrassing memories over and over.
No. What I mean is, well, actually, we did want to find a way to imbue something with a power, right?
Sort of.
Like a rock that could be used by somebody else, not the caster. Perhaps before the meeting with... Let's do the Dorothea meeting first, and with Therese, before that, we will try and quickly, like develop some means of transferring my cage of secrets once to you as well.
Okay.
That way your minds will be shielded just like mine. So she will not be able to read it like she did before for Sosimo and me.
Well, depends on how deep she can dig. The simplest solution would be that I replace some really awkward stuff or awful stuff. Keep in mind, I had a demon in my head for a couple of months.
You're gonna have to practice that with me and see how it works.
Sure.
Because remember, for example, let's say she hears about us meeting Dorothea and she asks us about it. Like, she wouldn't be... maybe she'd try me first, but then she'd get burned. If it's really well said, then she'd be... Well, I don't think she'd be able to use that again on you, but let's see, she tries using it on you as she's asking you that. Whatever your mind brings up during, as remembers, she'll be able to see it. That's how it works, okay? That's why when I do it, I ask questions. All I need is to ask, do you know this person, let's say Kian, to see if that person knows Kian. Actually. It works in whatever they're thinking about currently, but the thought process is, you're not exactly fully in control of it. And neither of us here are experts in Buddhism or clearing the mind. So there will be things that your brain will basically bring up and, say, like a Google search.
Yeah.
Right then, let's set up the meeting with Dorothea, and I'll set up the meeting with Therese.
Sure.
And I'm going to text Therese, meeting in a week.
The text is sent. it's seen, but the answer doesn't come right away.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, if I see that she's not calling to read, press and call.
Mm-hmm. The number rings, and after a few rings, it clicks, and you hear the voice of a woman. Who's this?
My name's Jack.
Jack who?
Jack, who wants to have a meeting with you, went through some lengths and believes that
Are you with them?
this meeting with them who?
The ones who are watching.
No. I'm more of I go guy. You know, sort of kind of fall where it please.
Say I trust you. What do you want?
I want to have a meeting with you that can be beneficial to you.
When?
The exact moment you can. If you can tonight, we can do it tonight.
Maybe. I'll...
Sure.
You can hear echoing in the background. Just pacing and pacing and pacing
Over.
and tapping.
I'm gonna walk over, and I'm gonna say, "Sir, that I too shall be on the meeting, a fellow member of our clan, and one who has dealt with those who are watching for a very, very long time now."
No. If you're a member of our clan, I should be able to have another type of contact with you. You gotta prove it.
Yes.
You gotta prove it.
Okay.
Prove it.
Okay.
She's gone.
I'm going to send her. I'm going to send her. Hunger Games. Basically, the lead
The whistle.
heroine. The song. Are you coming to the tree? Are you coming to the tree?
And again, you hear from the other side, like tapping and pacing, and almost a bit of a noise that makes you think she's shaking rhythmically. And at some point, the tapping sort of starts following your rhythm. And she seems to be listening to your end for something.
Are you coming to a tree? They say they strung up a man, and Iris starts singing that song.
Yeah,
They say
and
over the tree.
and the tapping stops, and then you just hear 3 hours. There's a cafe in downtown. I'll send you an address.
We might not be the best guest up there.
Downtown or nowhere.
Sure.
And there's a click, and the call turns off.
Well, boys, you gotta polish your suits. We're gonna visit the big players.
Right, I'm off to change this up a bit in a quick way, and Iris goes to her room and looks for some of her scalps of hair to replace the red hair.
And as we do this, we'll take a very quick break just to fix some problems in the background with Jasper's mic. And we'll be right back. Apologies for the inconvenience.
See you around.
So, as Serena goes off to prepare herself for the meeting, Jasper, you notice that the subject, still quite emaciated, seems to bump up back onto his feet, putting a rather dirty rag on the table, and then saying, Master Jasper, I couldn't clean the floor. It keeps getting dirty. I don't know why. And how many people in the room currently have hunger, their hunger levels at half?
I'm more.
More than half?
Like I have
Full
10 out
or
10 out of 15.
okay, then
Or
you're
9.
fine. Jasper and Larry, do either of you have less than half of your blood pool? Or half of your
I
blood?
don't know. I was mangled, but I don't know if I restored since the last session.
Up to you, but that would empty 5 blood points per dot healed of ag. And
oh,
one
no, it's
per
lethal.
each. Yeah, if it's another type of damage, you can heal it 1 blood point per. Plus spend 1 for waking up.
Easy. -1 cow. No, I'm at full almost. -1.
Okay. Jasper?
Same.
Same? Okay. So all of you smell it, but you manage to compose yourselves. You smell blood in the air as the guy speaks.
Did he just try to wipe the floor so good he wiped his fingers of it too much?
Did he do that?
Well, you check, his hands are fine. The rag seems to be a bit bloody. And when you look back at him, he seems to be a bit sluggish, and you start noticing blood drops falling from his nose. Quite a few, actually.
I take a closer look, like almost a medical exam, looking to see what's the problem exactly.
Does it seem like he has a stroke? Like,
Roll
I've
me
seen some people with stroke, but like just visually.
wits and medicine, please.
Ooh, have no medicine, so Lord have
That's
mercy.
higher difficulty then.
Just sounds like he's having a fucking stroke.
He has eaten the fucking blood. What do you mean?
I have
what
age.
the fuck? What stroke?
When you eat blood, you
3
don't have bloody
successes.
nose.
Okay, so Jack and Jasper, both of you, whatever's going on, it's either some type of rupture on the vessels on his nose, or there's something really, really wrong with his brain. And when stuff like this starts happening, it can be very, very, very bad, like emergency hospital bad.
Oh, this is not looking good.
It's looking really not good.
I don't understand.
Follow the
And
finger.
as
I tell him to follow the fucking finger.
yeah,
Nice.
he starts following the finger, and as you move it to the side, he follows it, and then his eyes continue after you stop the finger, and then he just starts dropping to the floor.
Yeah.
Jasper will
you have a
hold,
couple of
so
minutes.
Jasper
I
will.
don't know. I hold him so he doesn't hit his head on the floor.
Mm-hmm. You managed to break his
I
fall,
don't know.
basically.
I don't know what to do. It would be such a waste to let go of him, and there's the option that Serena wants him. Should we call Serena to see if she wants anything to do with him?
Serena? Her room's not far.
Serena walks out fucking no scalp, just holding 2 fucking scalps. What? Just kidding.
Serena walks up just like, like fixing up like a short bob of black hair, and you can see her like smoothing out edges on her forehead. What?
Number 4 decided to die tonight, so have a blast.
If number 4 is dying, any embrace that's happening to him right now will like keep him in the state that he is. You realize that?
Yes, I do. But if you want to open his brain while he's doing that.
Have you given him blood?
I'll just
Yes.
point out,
I have-
since Jasper got enough successes, the guy fell to the ground. He still has a pulse, though.
Have you? Serena just like rolls her eyes, walks over to number 4, and slits open her palm with the ring, and pours blood into his mouth.
The blood falls into his mouth, and very, very slowly, you start seeing his eyes that sort of rolled back into his head. They're like very fluttering blinks, and then he seems to sort of
Keeps her. She
nudge.
keeps her. She keeps her hand on his mouth and says, "Start healing yourself." And then she looks to Jasper. Well, it seems that whatever you did, while it was really working his brain over time at first, it was way too much for a mortal body, which most likely means that whatever blood you've been giving him, he might have been burning it out just to stabilize himself. And given his emaciated look, given his emaciated look, I'm guessing that whatever you did to the brain is actually consuming so much energy that his body is unable to support it. Which means, and she's still keeping the hand off of him and like takes a look to subject number 4 and says, "Start healing and don't complain. Not like you're gonna like me more than you like Jasper. This is just a healing and a lesson to your master about
Cautionary
Clearly.
tale.
You do notice that while he's regained some awareness, he's not complaining, not commenting, he's just listening.
Yes.
It probably doesn't help also that he is HIV positive.
Mostly, which means that, if he's that, I wonder, would he... I don't know what an embrace, if that would be even, like, reasonable, because... wonder if he's still gonna be able to spread it as a vampire just from a bite. That would be a massive... Well, it's not technically a
It's
breach
gonna
of
be a
silence of
problem.
blood, but it's a problem. Either way, you picked one. He's HIV positive, which means his immune system is already compromised. You did a change. And that brain that you've altered, once Serena thinks that, like, she basically gives him to drink maybe, like, 2 points of blood. By the way, that's a moon blood.
Okay, Okay, so, basically what happens, as you begin to feed him, as soon as he seems a bit healthier, he begins to, move forward and gives you a nod for you to stop pouring. And as you do, he braces himself up. And as he does, allow me to double check something on your sheet. All right. So as he does, he looks to you, Serena, and says, "Thank you, ma'am." And Serena, what is the emotion you're feeling currently? The main one.
Main one? Annoyance and Jasper's lack of understanding of like mortal biology.
Okay.
Like
This
it's annoyance at Jasper.
This
Yeah.
annoyance is now going to be multiplied tenfold, and then brought to an extreme on top of that. As you recognize what the fuck just happened, somehow,
Wait.
without really learning it, he just used .1 of dementation.
I'm gonna push that down because now I'm like my main emotion is switches to like the fact that interesting reaction. And Serena looks like over him. Seems you would do well with another master. And then she looks to Jasper. It seems the subject number 4 has developed just first level dots of dementation.
Excuse me, the fucking what?
Well,
What?
ghouls can do that.
He drank not enough of your blood to do that.
Yes,
He
but what
drank
did
your
I?
blood.
But what did I drink
once.
earlier? But what did I
Yes,
drink earlier,
You
Jack?
drank the
The
fucking
moon.
blood.
Moon-infused blood.
Plan of the moon.
Interesting. I kind of quite like it.
It is effective. Gonna give you that. I
Either
believe
way,
Olivia wouldn't like it.
what?
Blood of the moon?
Well, we don't know how it affects other clans. It affected him the way it did because I drank it and I gave him my blood. Either way, that's not the point. Test subject number 4. Do you have currently enough blood in your system to heal the damage that was done to your body due to the HIV and the advanced brain modification that is no doubt eating up all the nutrients since your brain is consuming now
I
far
believe
more.
all the damage has been healed, yes.
Right. What is your consumption? What is your current consumption of energy, you estimate? How much has your brain increased the consumption?
It would be hard to say. I was never a good biologist, but I could read a few volumes on it and make an educated assumption.
Perhaps right now, given the fact that your brain is working overtime, that would be.
Do you feel like much hungrier than normal?
Yes, though I'm unable to consume any food.
Have you tried raw meat?
I have. I just puke whatever I eat back up. Blood has been the only thing sustaining me for the past few weeks.
I see. Well, well, try not to overuse your brain today. I'll make a decision. And she looks to Jasper. I'll make a decision later. Currently, we have other things to worry about.
I believe that decision is for Mr. Jasper to make.
Yes, the decisions that he's already handed over you to me.
He has not.
He has.
I still serve Master Jasper.
And Serena just like lifts up test subject number 4 by the neck.
Yeah, I would assume so.
And says, "Now, mortal, let me remind you, in this pact, I am the pack priest. And right now I've been called from my business to see whether your expiring body would be of interest to me in my experiments. Needless to say that I actually do know fully how to fully cleanse your blood of Jasper's blood, but I am not doing it. But if you show this much lip to me again, given the fact that you were about to expire and your master told me to come and see whether I would like to do anything with you or not. I am just as well entitled to break your neck right now because it is my blood that you're having, and it is my powers that you're having. Do you understand or not? And she drops him on the ground.
Okay. As you drop him on the ground, he seems to cough, struggling quite a bit. You definitely did.
No, I didn't like hold
You
him.
lifted
like,
him
like,
by the neck. It's really hard to do that to a mortal without damaging
Fine.
his vocal cords and severely strangling him in the process. There's a reason why,
Perhaps I was more annoyed. So I could
Her
have
annoyance
over.
has been multiplied.
Yeah, but it was earlier. So, please, remember yourself. You were dying and you were handed over to me. And now that you have my clan's powers, I am free to do with you as I wish. Because last thing I need is somebody who doesn't know what the fuck they've just gained, running around and using it willy-nilly. This is not a discipline for the weak-minded or the weak-willed, and something to be allowed on a mortal without proper training.
After coughing a few times, the subject simply says, I believe by your own... Alright, we're back. Apologies for the technical difficulties on our end. So, as the man coughs and regains his composure, he looks to you, Serena, and says, I'm afraid according to your own rules, my death, caused by your hands, would go against the Code of Milan, as you've instructed to Mr. Larry, Mr. Jack, and Master Jasper.
Serena turns to Jasper.
I check number 4 aura.
You
what?
check...
Yeah, I check if he just got embraced. Perception and empathy?
Yes.
Yep. Pelese?
He's a ghoul.
Serena walks over. Serena looks to Jasper. Jasper, confirm that you guys... Confirm to me. Was your ghoul test subject dying and did you not call me over because I wish to embrace him for my research?
Yes, that's exactly what
Right.
happened.
So would he have died unless I would have fed him my blood and this impudent mortal who thinks to tell
would
a
have been
pack
it.
priest how to do
would have-
things?
It would have been a waste, but yes. Perhaps.
So is he mine?
Yes, he is yours if you want. I have gathered enough information that I wanted. to
Right, but
see
and then
forward
Serena,
with the
then
next step.
Serena, then Serena looks over. Now
Okay.
she's feeling currently
Well,
a lot of.
as you say this, Jasper, basically anyone who looks at the ghoul, he looks at Jasper like he's just been betrayed.
Been there, did that. Been there, did that. I assume I can see the color.
Hmm?
Right.
I assume I can see the color of his aura.
Yeah, he's completely shattered, basically, emotionally.
Serena looks to Jasper. Tie him up. We have other things to deal with. I cannot be in this elevated emotional state and make sure his mouth is silent. with his mouth is tied. I cannot be in this elevated emotional state when I make my decision about what is his destiny now. But needless to say, that I have no need of retainers, especially mortal ones, who show no proper piety to beings above them, and dare to quote the Code of Milan, which belongs to Cainites. And actually, at that moment, Serena makes a decision. She walks over to the ghoul, and she simply pushes her hand through his neck, and, so to say, like ripping all of the tissue all the way to the bone, melting her hand and opening the blood. Let's just say I have no need for embracing somebody like this.
As you do this pulling motion, there is a splatter of blood that stains the kitchen island and a good chunk of the floor, followed by very, very abundant spurts of blood. And as he falls to the ground, clutching at his neck,
Bad as a real person right now.
he basically reaches out to Jasper, and with a shaking hand, just goes limp.
I feel really bad as a real person right now.
Yeah.
But Serena just looks at it, and she feels her annoyance, like fade away, so to say, and as in at the whole situation, because this, and embracing somebody like that who is fully bound to Jasper, somebody who dares talk back at the pack priest and who's not been taught, and with his advanced cognitive abilities, they're just a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. I don't think he would make a really good Malkavian. Jack says that, tilting his head and looking at the subject 4.
Us Malkavians.
Jasper
Us
walks
Malkavian.
forward and gets close to test subject 4 before he's about to say something, but instead of saying it, he thinks for a moment and says, "Oh, that's quite a shame. I wanted to see what would happen to him if he wasn't raised."
We could test that out, but I could provide a suitable candidate. Malkavians have usually a good intuition, despite whatever cognitive abilities they have, whether they're, average, smart, intellectual. All of that is worth nothing if you don't know, if you don't feel when to hold your tongue and when to say something. He clearly lacked that. For a Malkavian,
know when to fold up.
Not really. It's more like you have to be guided by. And Serena closes her eyes. By the, collective subconscious, I guess? The cobweb. Even before being embraced, it's usually we're not really all that normal. Not all of our decisions are purely dictated by logic. And certainly, those more apt at feeling that can very well survive into the ages, even against the odds. He did not have that. But if you want to, later when we have time, I can just bring you somebody more suitable. And you can repeat that. Maybe this time knowing more about how the brain operates, you'll be able to make it better. Learn something more.
Perhaps. Maybe increase their digestive system efficiency. Also, so they can absorb more nutrients, perhaps, would help.
Maybe also try
But
without.
by the
text.
way, do your other test subjects, did they also reject food?
The other test subjects, well, one died, or at least is in some sort of coma. The others had increased reaction, noticeable with eye and some twitches. But the only successful one, once again, was him.
Fed him blood, he would have died.
In the midst of all of this, Larry, how do you feel about this guy just getting his throat ripped off in the situation he did?
Well, not an uncommon situation to be put in by, the pack of this kind, but I guess Larry didn't feel anything about this guy. Like,
Roll conscience,
on general
please.
human level. No. On general human level, he feels sorry, but he didn't, get to know him at all.
Yeah.
Still kind of feel like this would earn a conscience roll. I'll let the scene play
Yeah,
out,
but
and depending on the actions, I'll decide by the end. Carry on.
Anyhow,
Larry just stays silent somewhere further away from the occurrence.
anyhow, he's dead now.
It looks like I need a new test subject.
Oh, I was
Maybe I
was
should
muted.
do this with some shovel heads, perhaps. See if the process is more successful.
Of course, experiment.
You know what
Uh,
might also thwarted it? River Styx, which is really fucking hard to get rid of in blood.
But his embraces are normal.
His ghouls aren't, I guess.
Well, it's a topic of experiment. Either way, I think our next agenda should be the Nosferatu clan.
Yep.
You've
What can we-
received a contact from Taffington? Or
Did I?
or
Not yet.
was he meant to set up a meeting for you?
Taffington put the word out.
Mm.
That's what
I guess Gary will call us on his own,
All right then.
like a real Nosferatu.
Right, now then, we're gonna be meeting Dorothea in a cafe in downtown, which means that Jasper and Larry are not too suitable for a cafe visit. By the way,
And-
Jasper, I've had an idea. Have you got any race in your service?
I do have a raid working for me.
Okay, tell me, somebody was well, from my experience of having aspects, it's, hit and miss whether I see the wraith. and even then, I guess it's when they're not in the Shadowlands, right? But when they're would your race would they be able to, perhaps keep an eye on Therese's coming and goings from the Shadowlands?
Do you have picture and location that he can go to?
Well, there's one place that Therese always returns to act as Jeanette, and it is the Elysium Club in Santa Monica.
Girl, I'll
She
be
has
right
an
back.
office on the second floor, and so what do you know about Therese? Have we filled you in at all?
Not really. Only that they appear to be someone important? Question.
Right, so a short recap. Within LA, there are two sisters, Jeanette and Therese, Malkavians. One of them Anna, the other one Camarilla. And recently, the lore has been that Jeanette killed her sister and dealt Strauss a very severe blow. Point is, as far as I'm concerned, nobody in the Camarilla or the Anarchs knows that Therese and Jeanette are a Malkavian that has a split personality, and they share the same body. She wanted to make a deal with us, with our pack, asked Therese, because she knew that we were aware of her, I guess. But she wanted to make a deal with us to upend Strauss. And this deal could bring us a lot of... And we get Santa Monica. And honestly, that suits us. But we do not know whether the two sisters, the two sides of the same coin, are working with each other, what's their end goal, and who else is hanging about. So it would be really good if we managed to get eyes on Therese, eyes that she wouldn't be able to perceive. And I'm thinking that's exactly your specialty.
I think I can do just that.
Good.
You need it over the next few nights or immediately?
I've messaged her that I'd like a meeting next week. So the sooner you can set that up and get it going, the better. So that by the time we go to meet her, first of all, we won't walk into a trap by Talmahara, Jeanette, Therese, the Anarch, Strauss, or whatever else, and that we know better what exactly she wants. Then Serena looks to Larry. Larry.
Yes.
We'll be setting up soon a meeting with the Nosferatu, but I'm interested in another thing. How are your gargoyle friends doing? Are you still on good terms?
Well, I would say so.
Okay.
Sniff, sniff.
Miguel,
I'm not
sniff.
lying, you motherfucker.
Okay.
Essentially, you see no signs of lies. So at least Larry believes what he's saying.
Okay.
So because we're starting, so here's another thing. We will be needing, Olivia will be needing an elder premier to complete the project. And I'm thinking that Strauss, well, any of them would do, but I think someone like Strauss would be most fitted, especially if, especially considering everything. So I think perhaps it is time to give your gargoyles the scapegoat for the offense, so to say.
And that would be
And
Maximilian the Bald-Head Strauss.
no, Jack. No, we give them the fledgling. I'm sure between me and Olivia, we perhaps can, beef the embrace up enough for, the proposed look that we're claiming they have. A mad Malkavian who also learned vicissitudes or whatever else. But I will be finding someone suitable. Either way, we can always make even as a scapegoat. But I think it would be good for us to deal with that so that you bring them a scapegoat and you can also then hint to them that we are starting to make active moves to end Strauss's life. So, perhaps they would be more willing to share information, if not directly aid us. After all, it is in their benefit as well. What do you think?
You see a hint of doubt cross Larry's face as he looks somewhere in the distance.
Share with me what makes you doubt this plan.
well, you see, I was implying to the gargoyles that the killer could be of local area, specifically a Nosferatu of some sort.
But did you share with them? But you know how you figured out that it was vicissitude, right?
Yes, I did share that with them indeed, but this could be, covered since the clan specific disciplines are not, how to say, obligatory.
Well, yes, but
So-
but vicissitude is also very,
Hard to come by.
yes, it's very preciously guarded.
I know. So,
Like, look, you could have been wrong, right? And either way, how to say, I'm not sure if setting the gargoyles against the Nosferatu right now, given that we want to clear your name, would be,
Wise.
yeah.
I don't think gargoyles need any more reasons to hate Rouse or other Tremere, so I wouldn't go on
I
to
guess.
change my
Wait, but you
fairy
said
tale to
right now,
something
you
else.
said right now that you implicated Nosferatu. How are the Tremere now? Or did you mean
Well-
Tremere?
No, I said that I implied the Nosferatu, but I'm saying that there is no reason to. Oh, you were talking. Okay. Yeah, I lost my thought there for a moment.
Yes, so the point is the gargoyle that was killed by Olivia, right? So they were looking for a scapegoat. You said that you needed to provide a scapegoat to make amends, right? Because you were implicated and the pack was implicated, right?
Yes.
So there are only two clans that could potentially have done what vicissitude. Like, it's either Zimiza or it's Tremere. Now, it's going to be really difficult to implicate Tremere and rule it. But it is possible to provide a scapegoat, a rampaging, semi-white, a white embrace, right? Because once somebody hits a white, they wouldn't be able anymore to use vicissitude, so to say, right? Nor a lot of other things. So whether they had that power or not won't be really known. What I mean is that if we provide you a scapegoat to point towards, right, then you'll be able to, so to say, make amends and then hint to them that we're starting to move against Strauss. They might be willing after that to at least provide us information, if not aid us in dealing with him,
Yeah, I see what you're implying there.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, they don't need an additional reason to hate the Tremere. And us working against the Tremere is a benefit to them either way. But for tonight, Larry, would you feel comfortable providing aerial surveillance over the place where we're meeting in downtown? Or is that too dangerous given, Strauss and whatever other gargoyles he has still under control?
I would love to join the meeting, if you wouldn't mind.
Well, I would also love you to join the meeting, but if that cafe is going to have mortals,
Which is probably gonna happen.
That's why I need
We
Jasper.
can call him over
Like, look,
on the phone.
if once we, but over the phone, don't forget, a phone can be recorded. Look, once we make contact with Dorothea and achieve our ends, it is very well possible to meet already on more neutral ground, somewhere where I could have the advantage, like that park of prehistoric trees. Nobody would be able to approach that place without me knowing about it. But first we need to meet
Even
him.
just in neutral territory where nobody gets advantage.
Neutral territory?
Big advantage.
No, that park is neutral territory.
Yes.
So yes, the point is
We can
tonight-
kindly ask her.
tonight we're meeting, and unless that cafe is going to be entirely empty of people and anyone,
In half a mile radius.
only then would you be able to join. But if it's gonna have mortals, then, well, it's going to be really difficult. Of course, you could, I don't know, observe from the sewers, I guess. Keep us posted whether there's any other Cainites around or listening in or hidden. But I suppose you could do
Yes, I
that
would
also from the
prefer that.
ceiling. You could also do that from, like, the rooftop of that building. It
Do
just
we
might.
got the address?
Yes, we do.
Yep.
And Serena looks to the phone and tells him the address.
Yeah, I will
And
look
says-
it up on Google Maps. Just read to you. How does it look?
Yep. The area has pretty decently low buildings for an area in downtown. It seems to be sort of a more commercial area, just off the more business area. So while in the business districts you mainly have skyscrapers and like really tall buildings, here the tallest buildings have about 4 to 5 floors. Most of them have an average of 2 to 3.
Imagine some aspects can beat.
Right. Another thing, what to say, what I have. So, currently, as far as I've spent the last week scouting Santa Monica, right? This new power I've learned from the witch is turning to be out quite useful. I've basically am able to travel underground, and every single tree in the area is, you know, every single tree, plant, potted plant in the area serves as my eyes. So I did that, and currently, whatever they have, it's like their numbers are grown due to sin bloods. There's a lot of sin bloods. And I'm thinking, actually, now that I think about it, could be connected to Isaac, but I'm gonna need to do a bit more research. But Isaac has been going cloud through them, and we've had I've had reports that he's also trying to get that position. And we all know he's
Our
not in
Isaac or their Aber or their
our Isaac. Our
Yeah,
Isaac.
okay.
And we all know he's not in exactly the best mindset for that. Oh, Jasper. By the way, when your race spies on Therese / Jeanette, whatever, like whoever is in control of the body at that moment, have him pay attention to, other vampires she's communicating with, because apparently there's rumors that Jeanette has other, Camarilla vampires under her belt. So we should know whether that's true or not.
I will let Rafe know.
And Jack,
Yes.
I have a bit of time to fix your appearance up if you want.
Be my guest.
All right. Larry, you can, if you feel it's safe enough, you can maybe scout ahead of us. We'll be leaving as soon as I've changed Jack's appearance a bit. And
Could you throw a card?
For what?
Or if we are walking into a trap?
Well, I don't think so, but sure.
Well,
I assume it is not a trap.
Like I said, it is the big Iris that guided me towards this.
I would feel safer.
Very well. I'll divine for you, Larry, okay? That
Okay.
you'll be safe in whatever.
What is the specific question?
Whether like Larry flying there over early and like scouting for us and so on, like
No,
is
I was talking about the general gig, the general meeting.
okay. So whether the meeting is a trap or not, or whether we're gonna be ambushed,
So the question is, are we going to be ambushed?
No, whether this is a trap or not.
Okay. So is this a trap? Got it.
Then Malkav makes the card to look like Admiral Akbar.
He totally would.
Yes. But upside down, just so like it is safe.
Yes.
Big Iris, what can you say?
And it's specifically about the general meeting itself being a trap, correct?
I don't like how much Miguel is asking.
It's
Get that smile
specifically
off your face.
it's specifically about whether we're going to end up in a trap, not specifically the meeting being.
See, I need a specific question, because you can't, like, go on and on and on and on and on giving me
Are we walking
generalization.
Are we walking into a trap? See, this is a general question.
Okay. Are we
Okay.
walking into a trap?
You're not walking, you're driving. Mike.
You'd get, essentially, drawing the card, you'd be getting, So, how many successes did you get in the interpretation?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay, yeah, that's plenty. So, you draw the Wheel of Fortune. Usually this would raise a few questions, but what you understand about this is whether this is a trap or not depends very much on your actions when showing up.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the thing. If we don't raise any red flags, act foolishly, this is not going to end up in a trap. So, on your best behavior. All right?
Well, good luck to you two.
Very well.
Good luck to you too as well.
And then Serena's going to just like spend a bit
Here
of
you go.
time. Yeah, changing Jack to look you know.
Like somebody else.
Okay.
Yes.
Less
Jack,
Jackishly.
Jack, are you currently on
So-
instinct or self-control? Can you remind me?
Self-control.
Okay, so I'll need you to roll me self-control.
Shit, Peleze. I don't like those rolls. I fucking hate them.
Yeah, you're fine. So the pain is quite extreme, and you feel like lashing out at Serena while she's doing this, but you manage to kind of contain yourself. It's not a pleasant experience,
Acting
but
on
it's...
emotions.
Yes.
No, acting on emotions.
Serena then looks to Jasper. Probably you know what would be good before you send your race to do the things that I've asked you. Have it be our eyes in the Shadowlands, just so that, you know, our favorite vampire Illuminati are not also interfering too much, okay?
Very
Before
well.
you send him on the mission. Best to cover all our bases.
Very well. I'll be in my room for a little bit, talking to it. I'll be
Yes.
back.
Well, we'll be getting ready and then leaving. It's a drive.
Yeah.
Alright. As all of you get ready, Jasper, you enter the room to call upon your wraith.
Is he somewhere nearby, or do I
As
actually
you
have
would
to summon
instruct
him?
it.
Okay.
I believe he had instructions to watch over the tower build site. So it's up to you if you canceled those orders and told him to hang around.
No, I would have kept him on lookout. I guess I will summon him real quick.
Yeah, that's fine. I won't have you roll. I'll just accept that you do this. You feel the presence, and as you do, you begin to pull at it. And fading almost into existence near you is the shape of the Wraith, who appears, almost manifesting into the Shadowlands, with a bit of a panicked look, looking around. And then he spots you and says, "Oh, it's you. Okay. Yeah?
I needed you to do something else. I need you to, and he will tell the location of where she is,
Mm-hmm.
and he will. Serena did give Jasper a description of how she looks like, right?
I would assume so, yeah.
Okay, so he will give the description of Therese, and then he'll say, "I need you to look out for this one, and tell me what happens." He does have double personality, apparently. And I want you to also be very mindful of who she is talking to.
Okay.
He,
Where is she?
he will once again tell the location of Therese.
Okay, I can check it out.
Stay in the Shadowlands. Do not come out into the Scalands while you're there.
Okay,
They could possibly be able to see you.
okay. When do you need me to report?
We were going there right now, right?
No, Jasper. Right now we're going to meet Dorothea. Um, basically, what Serena asked you to do is tonight she's going to meet with Jack, Dorothea, and for the race to basically keep an eye out if there's any Talmahara spying on them in the cafe. And after that's done, to basically follow Therese around for a week, reporting regularly. Follow Therese Jeanette around for a week before the meeting.
But before that, you go to this location, and he will give the location of Dorothy, and make sure that no funny business is happening while we're going there. Do warn me of anything suspicious.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, I can do that. Anything else?
No. You may go.
Well, I better make my way there now. I'll keep you posted, boss. And he seems to focus, and as he does, you see him begin to walk towards the wall, and he phases through.
Before we leave, I'll knock on Jasper's door. Can you check DMs real quick? Miguel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say you got the size about right. It's not very big.
Yeah. Like I checked online. Ashes to diamond is like usually 5 carat max. Yeah, I'll walk to Jasper's room and knock on the door.
Jasper opens the door.
Jack will pull like
What do you think, Jack?
small stone, like 5-6 mil in size, out of his pocket. By the way, I've got finest, give or take, 0.6 carat of Waylon. If you wanna summon him, I assume that will help his body at the end of the day.
I would.
So yeah, you know what to do if we are busy. That's Serena.
Jasper seems to be, a little bit worried. But he takes and says, "We will do this later when you have the time."
Sure. Just be careful with Waystone.
And he will carefully put it away inside of his room so no one can get it.
Right. And as all of you begin to, ready yourselves for this meeting, we will take a short break. After which we will enter the scene where the meeting with Dorothea happens. See you soon.
See you.